The good news is we have HDR support in HELLDIVERS 2. The very good news is we have actually very good HDR support in HELLDIVERS 2.
Pod launch initiated.
Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. As always, before we start, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. And if you never heard about the game HELLDIVERS, then welcome to the club. I never played part 2 and I have to admit that if I wouldn't have a YouTube channel and because of that I'm focusing on new releases from all the games, I would probably miss this one out. And this would be really a shame because during my testing and I played a couple of missions and I played online, and I can just recommend to play this game online with 4 people and you talk to each other and you have your strategy how to kill or defend your base and stuff like that. This is really a great experience. And the best thing is, and that's actually not the best thing, but that's a very nice thing, this game just costs $60 for the Steam version and $60 for the PlayStation 5 version. And maybe I shouldn't say just $60 because $60 is still $60, but comparing this with recent releases from other games like Suicide Squad, where I think the experience from Suicide Squad is more on a average level and HDR is not really nice in this game due to the HDR Black level raise, I found it actually, HELLDIVERS 2 is actually a great value. $60 is not much to ask then for having a lot of fun and on top having a really good HDR implementation. So talking about HDR, one of the most important things what we need to know about this game is that we have the HDR system level calibration support on Windows 11 and also on the PlayStation 5. Unfortunately, I have no PC anymore with Windows 10, so I don't know how HDR is reacting or what the maximum peak brightness is in HDR when you use a Windows 10 PC. The only HDR relevant setting what we have in HELLDIVERS 2 is the brightness setting, and here it is actually a little bit hard for me to make a proper recommendation. And the reason for that is that every TV, every monitor, every screen is slightly different, and more important is where are you playing the game? What is your environment looking like? So and with environment, I mean, are you playing the game in a very dark room or are you playing this game in a very bright room? The only thing what I can tell you from a technical point of view is that this setting, the brightness setting, is changing or affecting the HDR Black level floor. That means if you decrease this too much, you would end up with some sort of HDR Black level crush, and if you increase this too much, you would end up with HDR Black level raise. And my recommendation is that you set up this setting in a complete dark room. If you have the feeling that you have some sort of HDR Black level crush, then just increase it by 1 tick. I would be very careful because the instruction actually says that you should hardly or barely see the left side of the picture. I found I have actually a better experience when I can't see the left side of the picture at all. And when you have found the best setting for your TV screen or monitor, then you should have a picture like that. Very powerful and in the right moment, actually with a lot of contrast. That means you have really nice HDR Black level floor and very bright specular highlights. But there are also planets where the picture looks very washed out. On the PlayStation 5 and PC, it's the same. And this is done on purpose because I have already shown you that the game can reach 0 nits or almost 0 nits. So the HDR Black level floor in this game is not the problem. So at some point, some designer decided that a planet has to look very washed out like this one here. I mean, don't get me wrong, the style here right now, the graphic style is not too bad, but still, I mean, the washed out look, I'm not a big fan of that. But this is something what you need to keep in mind. The game is perfectly able to reach 0 nits, but sometimes you can find planets like that. So another thing I like to mention is that the HDR presentation on the PC is better than on the PlayStation 5. Not in regards of measurements or maximum peak brightness or HDR black level floor. This is very much the same, but the PC version just looks in general better with proper hardware, of course. So thanks to 4K resolution, thanks to better textures, better graphic details, HDR just looks more impressive on the PC. But no worries at all, if you play the PlayStation 5 version, HDR is still a great experience. Great implementation because again we have no issues with the HDR black level floor and we have great specular highlights. So enjoy the game in HDR, there's no point that you play this game in SDR. And I almost forgot about the HDR colors in this game, and why I forgot about this is actually very simple because there's not much to talk about. This game has in 99.999% of the time SDR color space in use, which is a little bit of a bummer, but to be very honest, I still like the presentation in terms of the visual and graphical quality and of course colors as well. But a game like this, it would be able actually to use some sort of DCI P3 or BT 2020 colors because it's a fictional game. It's not very realistic. You know, we can put a couple of colors in which are more vivid. Let's say like this, okay? Anyway, the game looks nice, but again, no HDR colors in use. Okay, my friends, so that's it for this video. I have to say I really enjoyed making this video because during my testing, I had a lot of fun actually, especially with the PC version. And yes, I admit that I have a 4080 with a very powerful CPU and the game runs actually pretty well. So what I will do is for another video, I will compare the PlayStation 5 version with the PC version, but not with the 4080. I have a 3070 as well and with an older CPU, and I will use this PC because otherwise it's just not fair in my opinion. Of course you will see some comparisons with the 4080 as well, just to see or just to show you what is possible, but I think you understand, you get the point that if you have a 4080, if you have a 7900 XTX or whatever, or a 4090, this game looks of course better than on the PlayStation 5, but, and this is what I always tell you, you have to spend way more money. I found the PlayStation 5 version runs pretty well. So far I couldn't see any stuttering actually. So I just played the 60 FPS mode on the PlayStation 5. There's no way that I will test the 30 FPS mode in my upcoming video. Thank you very much, and I see you next time. Bye.